All right, today we're gonna talk about first step. And we're talking about first step. One of the first things we wanna make sure is we work out of our athletic stance. Too often players shrink themselves down. And again, this works fine as long as you're playing players that you're as athletic as or more athletic than. But when you start to play players that are more athletic than you, you've got to play big. You've got to stretch yourself out. So the boys are going to get in their stance, and we've talked about this working in different slots. Come up to slot number 4, boys. Again, crossover in slot number 4. Again, maintaining good athletic stance in slot number 4. Drop down to slot number 2. And they can see how they can drop down to slot number 2, crossover. Good. Stretch those crosses out through the legs. Good. Again, staying nice and wide in that stance so their angles are bigger. Now eventually we're going to start moving. You're going to see me doing things like drift to stretch those angles out more, or lateral slides in transition where I get that ball outside my hip behind the back. Go ahead. And that's what they're working on there. Now freeze it, check it. Again, checkpoints are important. We're going to be talking about first step development. You know, the first key to having that explosive first step is efficiency. Eliminating all wasted motion. So that's why we start them down in slot number 2, and then we start accelerating out of that spot. So if we look right here, show me some dribble stance to sprinter stance. Good, they're in dribble stance. Blow by sprinter stance, fall in. Sprinter stance, good. Now you can see right here, they want to be able to take that slot and maintain good posture, get that chin up. They got their hand up here, and the shoulders are always in front of the foot, and the front heel is always off the ground. That allows them to stick the ball of the foot through the floor, dropping those shoulders and shoot through the defense. Bring it back, touch open. Now, that's called side loading, and side loading, freeze it, check it. Side loading is another important concept. A lot of players, what they do is they rear load. They come up to that athlete and say, Donnie's guarding me. So if Donnie was on me, set the ball down, Donnie. And I was gonna go to attack Donnie, and I rear load, you can see how my shoulders don't get through his hip. But if I side load, you can see how those shoulders shoot right through Donnie's hip. And that's important. So as they take off right now, and they're going from dribble stance to sprinter stance, we're working on side loading. So again, if they're dribbling with their right hand, dribble with your right hand, and they cross over, what foot are you loading through, boys? Right. You're dribbling with your right hand and you're crossing over, they're loading through their right foot. So ready? Sprinter stance. Cross, sprinter stance. You can see how they just lock right in. Everything goes back to it. Back, touch, open. The second key to speed is familiarity of movement tracks, in and out. And again, and you can see, again, sprinter stance. Back, touch, open. Good. Through the legs. You can see how they fall right into sprinter stance right here. And again, using that through the leg dribble, a lot of players are going to go backwards. They're going to step in and fall into sprinter stance. Touch open. 1, 2. Behind the back. Behind the back. Again, north-south. Everything is north-south. They're keeping those toes, hips, and shoulders on the rim at all times. A lot of players, when they go behind their back, they want to give that angle and let that defensive player swing their hip. And they're working on falling in and falling through the hip. Back, touch, open. Good. And then show them that behind the back, that spin, hold, sprinter stance. Spin, hold, sprinter stance. No dribble. Go. Spin on the pivot. Now that's also important because right there, what happens is most players, come on back up, Donnie, would go into their spin and they would step and then spin. See, not stretching that angle. So if we're here and we go into that spin, you can see how much wider that angle is. So let's look at them now, go from dribble stance to takeoff. So let's get in your stance, boys. Here we go, touch open. Yep, give me a crossover, go, go. Now the next part of this is really throwing that explosive punch. How much ground can you cover? Here we go, 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 boom. And you can see here, they're covering about 7 feet. I'll blow by, right hand, go, go, go. Good, throwing that punch from the pocket. And that goes back to our stationary ball handling stuff where we really work on hitting that pocket, go. Practice being explosive, in and out, go. Good. In and out cross, in and out cross. Everything. Dribble stance, watch this foot push through. Watch this left foot push through. Go, go, go. Left pushes right through, falls right into sprinter stance. Never disengages the rim. That way when they attack that defense, they're taking angle rather than giving it. I'm showing that through the legs. Here we go, right here. Now watch how there's no false step and everything stays on the rim. Step, go. Good, good. Behind the back, go. Yep. Now show them that spin. Now watch the pivot on this spin. Go, go. And he should be coming across. See how he's coming across on that angle. Now freeze it. Again, all this stuff is important, and we're going to talk more about using those secondary dribbles like the behind the back and the spin dribble, and how to use that through the leg dribble. Too often players are going through their legs disengaging, and you can see when I dribble through my legs, I always keep that hip on the rim. If you want to have an explosive first step, you got to get in the gym and you got to practice it deliberately.